Fortnite Ballistic, a brand new mode in Fortnite that is a 5v5 search and destroy type of game. While the game mode had a pretty decent launch, it's already showing a lot of its rough edges. Today, we're going to discuss the big issues plaguing the mode, such as players leaving mid-match, the lack of map options, and how it can avoid becoming the next Rocket Racing. To give a quick overview on how Ballistic works, it's a search and destroy game where you have two teams, the attackers and defenders. The attackers have to go and plant a bomb, while the defenders have to go and defuse the bomb. Either team can win by also just eliminating the other team before any bomb is planted. It's a simple game that requires a lot of communication and some strategy to succeed in. With communication, you need a team of players, which leads us into our first issue, the lack of players and retention of them in Ballistic. Now when I say the lack of players, I don't necessarily mean Ballistic doesn't have enough players playing the game. The game has actually been pretty steady with the player count so far. At the time of recording this, it currently has roughly 54,000 people playing across unranked and ranked. This is also right after a downtime, so it really isn't doing bad. When I'm talking about a lack of players, I'm more so talking about how the matchmaking in the game currently works. When it first launched, I was on the game immediately so I could stream my experience. After a couple of matches, I already noticed matchmaking was going to be a big problem with the game. You see, the game doesn't always put you in a full game. What I mean by that is sometimes you may get unlucky and end up on a team with 3 or 4 people instead of the 5 you would ideally want to start with. The other team may end up starting with 5 people while you didn't, so you're already at a big disadvantage. Fortnite needs to figure this out, and fast. Let me start by saying they should not add bots to this mode. Adding bots to this mode would kill it instantly. Bots are already a big issue in Battle Royale considering how many I find in a game, but that's another topic. If I were to join a Ballistic match and half of my team consisted of robots just to fill the lobbies, I might as well throw up the surrender flag and call it a day. What they need to do is just not start the match until both teams have 5 people each. There are enough players currently to do this. You may have to wait a bit longer, but I would rather wait an extra minute than Epic taking the bot route. I bet some of you are also thinking, well, they also fill the lobby with people as the game progresses. Well, I don't think they should do that either. How it works just feels super unfair. When I was playing the other day, I was in a game that started off as a 3v3, which was already horrible in itself. The frustrating part was when 2 people joined the game mid-match, it didn't evenly split them onto each side. No, it put both of them on the enemy team. How is that even fair for my team? Why couldn't the game evenly split the teams? Basically, what I'm trying to say is we shouldn't have people joining mid-match and we shouldn't be starting games until each side has a full team of 5 people. Would it suck to wait a little bit longer? Honestly, it would, but it would make the experience so much better knowing you have a full team. A little way they could help with the waiting is allow you to fight the other players in the game currently in like a pre-game lobby so you can practice your aim or peek so you're not just sitting there, which I think is a better solution than what we have currently. One other issue on this topic I want to bring up is the problem with players leaving mid-match. I know that in the ranked version of Ballistic, there is in fact a penalty for leaving and it gets more severe if you continue to do so. It essentially gives you a queue time penalty, making it where you cannot queue for a certain period of time. All I'm asking is to bring this over to the unranked mode as well. Both modes should punish players for leaving mid-match, not just ranked. Valorant has it set up like this, and as much as I hate it sometimes because I do rage quit every so often in Valorant, it's a good for the people who actually play the game, knowing they won't get people who leave mid-match as often because they're going to get punished. Unless it's me, I'm not always the biggest Valorant fan. Now I wanted to discuss the lack of map variety that we currently have in Ballistic. While I understand the mode is in early access, I think we should have launched the game with at least a couple of maps. The current map, Skyline 10, isn't a bad map, don't get me wrong. The problem with there only being one map right now is the game can get repetitive really fast just by staying on the same map. While it may not be the biggest issue right now, people who consistently play this mode will learn the layout quick, leading to everyone finding the best spots to plant the bomb, hide, and easily pick players off. This can lead to some repetitive gameplay real quick, as each match will start looking like every other match you've played. While I'm not sure as to what kind of maps the developers are currently working on, I think there are already a lot of assets to work with. Let me explain. We've had 6 chapters of Fortnite Battle Royale. In each chapter, there have been numerous POIs over the years. What I'm saying is, why don't they make maps based on these POIs? This would really add to making Ballistic its own unique game and not being a blatant copy of Valorant or Call of Duty. I think it would be super fun to have a map based on Tilted Towers. Imagine running around the streets of Tilted in first person looking for the attackers and the bomb. The sniping positions would be awesome in Tilted Towers because of the sheer amount of buildings such as the apartments. Obviously, they couldn't use the whole Tilted Towers POI, but even a small section of it would be fun to play on. By using some of these older assets, we could easily get new maps out at a faster rate, and it would make Ballistic feel more like Fortnite rather than a clone. The last big topic I wanted to bring up was the lack of sidearm options in Ballistic. In Valorant and other search and destroy games, you get to pick your primary weapon such as an AR and a secondary weapon such as a revolver. In Ballistic, you get to choose your primary weapon. That's it. You're stuck with the default pistol. While the pistol itself isn't bad, having that be the only option is bad. Having the choice to choose what weapon you want to use is awesome and allows you to play the game in a different playstyle based on the weapon you choose. Secondaries add to that level of freedom. The developers working on Ballistic have so many options when it comes to sidearms and Ballistic. As I was saying, with the lack of maps being an issue and using old Battle Royale POIs to make new Ballistic maps, why can't we do the same with sidearms and Ballistic? The primary weapons already consist of modified weapons from Chapter 5. In theory, it shouldn't be too hard to do the same thing for sidearms. They already have a ton of weapons that could be considered a sidearm for Ballistic. For example, the double barrel shotgun. While it would obviously need to have the stats modified to fit in with the Ballistic mechanics, the asset is already there. I would even consider making the deagle we currently have as a primary weapon into a secondary weapon. I would love to carry the striker AR and deagle at the same time, as I can use the deagle to jump people and the AR to finish them off. These were just some of the bigger issues that I saw with Ballistic at the moment. While I honestly believe the lack of maps and limited sidearm options are some issues, I know that over time these will definitely be addressed as the game continues to be updated. In regards to how the matchmaking works, I really do hope they figure out how to work on that and make it less of an issue. As much as I would love to always play with my own team of 5 in a call together, that realistically won't always be the case. Random matchmaking will be a big part of this mode, so it needs to be addressed sooner rather than later. I truly believe this mode has the potential to be a long-lasting core mode on Fortnite. It follows the genre that we all love and know Fortnite for, which is the shooting game. If they continue to update the mode and make it stand out to its competition such as Valorant and Call of Duty, it has the potential to be a big hit in its own way. Add more of the Fortnite elements to the mode that makes Fortnite what it is, and I think it'll all work out in the end. If you guys have any thoughts on my comments about Ballistic or have some cool ideas of your own, please share them in the comments. I'd love to hear them and maybe even make a part 2 to this video discussing your feedback on Ballistic. The developers might even see it, who knows. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing for more awesome content. Use code TwistedYeti in the item shop and have a great rest of your day.